So, I've been thinking about making these videos for a very long time, and I think now is the right time. And I don't think any time is going to be perfect. I've been waiting, procrastinating, but where I'm at in my life is very challenging with a lot of things that I have going on. And I thought, what better time to start than within a challenging part of my life. In the hopes that, one, I'll look back on this video and see where I was, where I've been, how I've grown. And also I want to share to other people that may be going through similar types of struggles, challenges, maybe offer some insight and maybe some help. So some of you may know me as owner of a gym, Fortitude Gym. Some people know me as a coach, some as a father, a husband. But what I've learned over the last few years, but like a slap in the face over the last couple of months, is all the projects that I've been working on. You know, we've got a lot going on here in this building, inside the gym. A lot of ideas, a lot of things I want to pursue, a lot of responsibilities. It doesn't end at work. In fact, I think that's probably the smallest part of my responsibilities. Because as a man, father of two beautiful girls, husband to a beautiful wife, the challenge is at home and within myself. And what I've learned is the biggest project that I'm working on is not my business, it's not my clients, it's me. And working on the man that I know I should be, and I know I'm not quite there yet. And that's been really, really hard, especially with everything that's been going on. You know, we've had a lot of challenges, one being our newest baby girl, 6 months old now. Also racing to finish an extension to house the whole family, have enough space for the new addition. It's been full on. And with those things going on in the background, obviously having a business running as well, multiple businesses, it can get a bit stressful. But what doesn't stop is what goes on inside, and you constantly neglect yourself because you've got so much things to worry about, so many responsibilities, so many people that are relying on you that you suffer, right? And yeah, what I've learned is that you kind of need to put yourself first to help the other people in your life. And that's what I'm working on right now. Working on being better in business, as a father, as a husband, as a man. And as you get older and when you have kids, you can't do the same things you used to do. You don't get away with the same things you used to do because your age and your health. You've really got to prioritize these things and look after yourself to be able to handle the challenges that life throws at you. And that's a challenge. It's a challenge in itself. And that's where I'm at. You know, currently walking on this mini treadmill. Even hired a coach, right? A coach to coach me. I know exactly what to do. Doing it is a different story. I'm a firm believer that every coach needs a coach. Everyone needs a coach. But someone to help keep me accountable, making sure I'm doing things I should be doing and not doing the things I shouldn't be doing. But I'm not perfect, and I'm definitely not where I want to be. But this is the journey. This is why I'm making this video. Because I bet there's a lot of other men out there who are, maybe a similar position to me, got a lot of weight on their shoulders and feels like they're fighting an uphill battle. And sometimes we've got to be a little bit selfish and work on ourselves to get stronger, to be better, so that we can carry this load easier. Because I I sometimes find yourself feeling like everything's a means to an end, and it'll get easier. You'll get a break, but it never ever happens. So what's the alternative? You get stronger. You become more resilient. You handle these stresses a lot better than before, so then they don't seem as much as mountains and they become molehills once again. And the only way that's possible is looking after yourself, making sure you're doing daily disciplines and you're not doing certain things that are going to make you softer. So yeah, I've kind of made a mini commitment to myself in the hopes that I continue doing these videos to kind of share my journey, share my challenges along the way, and hopefully you'll be able to see some growth, and so will I. And I want to share what I've learned along the way. I've learned a lot of stuff. I've got a lot to give, and I've found that I've been, I make these videos for my clients, but there's so much value in these videos, and I think there's a lot of people out there who would resonate with what I have to say, and it may help them. So this is the first video, just kind of let you know I'm doing these little lessons, these little walking and talking lessons, and I want to share my journey, my development in becoming the man I know I should be. And if you like what I say in these videos, then I'd love to have you along with me for the journey. You're going to learn who I am, what I stand for, what my values are, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, what I think a man is and should be, in my opinion, based on what I've learned and what I know that works and doesn't work. And I think these little lessons might help a lot of other men in my position, and that's the goal, right? And I also want to see how I develop along the way. So it's a project on myself. And it's going to be fun, it's going to be difficult, there's going to be some wins, there's going to be some slips, no doubt. But some things I'm really passionate about right now. Obviously I love fitness, I love coaching people, I just love teaching people how to use their bodies the way they should be used. And then seeing somebody do something they didn't think was possible, it changes their mindset. You change someone's mindset, you change the way they think about themselves, it changes the way they show up in the world, and it improves their life. Their quality of life improves, they get new opportunities, everything gets better. I love that. But what I'm really interested in now as well, as I get further along this, is coaching people on how to be coaches. So if I can, the mission is to help people, help as much people as I can. And if I can share everything I've learned and kind of copy and paste what I know to other people, because what I do here at the gym at Fortitude, it works really well, people love it. And if I can replicate that in others, so we run PT courses here now, I really enjoy doing that. If we can replicate what I do, then the mission, the ripple effect gets bigger, and we help more and more people. And what I'm really interested about, because it's personal to me, is a man's self-development. And this never stops. I think as you get older as a man, responsibilities get greater, the pressure gets greater as well, because as you get older you should be getting better, right? You shouldn't be getting worse. So I think there's a lot of value in hardening yourself up, not just physically, not just mentally sharper and more disciplined, but emotionally more grounded. And I'm really passionate about that, because having 2 daughters now, it's really important to me to set a really good example of what they, because I'm going to be the first example of what they think a man should be. And if that's not a good example, then that's where the whole daddy issue things comes in. So I want to make sure that I am the best for them, so that when they are old enough to go dating and stuff, they're going to search for somebody just like me. So I need to make sure that I am being that somebody I want them to marry when they are old enough. So that is something that's really important to me right now, and that's what I'm working on, amongst other things. But I think that's a really important thing in today's world. So if I can find the answers and do the thing and be the thing and teach other men, other dads to be the thing, I think a lot of problems in this world would get better. So that's where I'm headed. And if you'd like to join me, then watch these videos. It's going to be interesting. There might be some tears, but more than anything, there's going to be some growth along the way. So, this is the first video. I hope you'll tune in over the next coming weeks, months, years, and I'd love to have you along for the ride. Done.